Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Iverstein Butcher on Perkins Road near Essen. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Dwayne Colucci with us today. Matt Humans with us today. The Masters is underway. Pretty interesting interview yesterday on AFR with Verge Osbury and the future of revenue share in the athletic department. I want to talk about that during today's show. Jimmy, good morning.
Morning, sir.
It's nice to be back here at Iverstein.
Yes, indeed.
We get in here, I guess about once a quarter or so. And, man, look.
Grilling season. Grilling season.
I was just about to lead into it. You're finishing my sentences for me.
Yeah, like Memorial Day. This is post-Lenten grilling season.
Yeah, the week after Easter
Master,
season.
yes. So at Masters weekend, the weather's beautiful. It's big green egg season from the Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store. And, man, this is one of my stops, man, to load up. So, and you start with the steak burgers, man. I mean, I love them, boy. They made for the patty, but go right on. I put a little seasoning on them. They're not seasoned, but they are ground up, man. Talk about melting your mouth, man. Delicious stuff. It's the same ones that they do over here. And speaking of, in the spirit of the Masters, the Golden Bell and the Dream Killer. That's right. Double smash patty with American cheese, pimento cheese.
There's your Masters.
Creole mustard, house pickles, bacon, caramelized onions. So, how about that, huh?
I'll take it.
That's our special burger.
At about 105, I'll be getting one of those for sure. So they are underway at the Masters. Good weather there. And your early leader after the first 9 holes is Kurt Kitayama, who is 4 under par through 10. Tommy Fleetwood and Patrick Reed both a shot back at 3 under par. And Sam Burns, who got out with an eagle on number 2, is still at 2 under par. He is 2 shots off the lead along with Brian Campbell. Those are your early leaders at the Masters. Fleetwood, yesterday, his son, Frankie, was kind of the star of the par 3. He's 8 years old, and last year trying to make it to one of those greens with the water on the front. He didn't quite make it, but I tell you what, and I'm no golf expert when it comes to swings, but I know what a pretty swing is. Got the prettiest swing for an 8-year-old, I think, that you could possibly have. He's been hanging out with Dad on the driving range, I think. And yesterday he came up a little bit short, but it was cute. You know, it was a cool moment. See these guys out there with their families, and Frankie was definitely a hit, even if he did come up a little bit short.
One of Max's picks. Max's picks are doing well. Fleetwood 3 under, Patrick Reed 3 under, Xander is 1 under, I think through 7
now.
Through 7.
Yeah.
DeChambeau just finished 7, so he's got 1 birdie, 1 bogey, so he's even par after 7 as we monitor on masters.org over here. So yeah. But Sam Burns, all pars?
No, eagle number 2, and then he had a birdie and a bogey to even out.
Okay.
So he just made the turn at number 9. Still to go off later this afternoon. Of course, Scotty Scheffler is in the second to last group today. Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Ludwig Oberg. Ludwig is going off in the noon hour along with John Rahm, J.J. Spawn, all of that still to come. So it's a good start at the Masters. Got your ceremonial.
You think this is the time to fade Scheffler?
Yeah.
I can't think of a better time in the last the last 4 years or so.
And not just, of course, there's a market that exists without him in it that you can do on purpose. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, there were field without Scheffler on certain. MGM, I think, had it, was the one I saw. So you can do that if you want. Of course, it's going to drastically affect your odds. I've kind of played that with Scotty most of the things. If he beats me, beats me. Okay, he's going to win his 5 tournaments a year, 6 tournaments a year, win a major, maybe 2. But it's tough to bet on him given the odds that even when it came back a little bit yesterday, from 360, I think it was the beginning of the week, to 510, 540 yesterday. It's still very, very short. It's still a golf tournament, man. There's still, there's 90 people in it. There's not 90 people that can win it, but there's 90 people in it. There's probably, I would say, a good 2 dozen. That have a reasonable
19
shot.
straight top 10s and then 3 straight non-top 10s. Took some time off, the birth of his second shot. I mean, a lot. I mean, but he does love this track. We know that. But still, Rory putting about 7 feet off the green. He puts it up there, so he'll tap in for par. So he's still even par for the day. And Schauffele, as we just talked about, left on the driver. He is in trouble. With his driver. Is that 7 or 8 that he's on?
He's on number 8.
Okay.
On number 8.
He's playing with DeChambeau?
I'm not certain about that.
DeChambeau just
they are in the same group. Yes,
okay.
they are in the same group along with Akshay Bhatia is also, I think, in that
popular, fashionable pick.
Yeah,
kind of as far as kind of an up and comer, kind of down. There aren't many. All of our handicappers always look for prices. Not this week. Not this week. This is not. It's just. It's not the case. But he is about as big of a shot as they're going with.
Yeah. Well, he's got a couple things. Number one, he's in form, and correct me if I'm wrong, left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
So the course has some favorable advantages for left-handers. We've seen that in the past. Maybe that works to his advantage today. Great weather at the Masters. I don't think we got. That's one of the things we don't have to worry about. Maybe a little bit of wind. Of course, that's always the case, but not going to have to worry about.
Teeing off a few hours ago. A few hours ago, it was like 55 about 3 hours ago. So they it's warming up beautifully. So.
We got college baseball this weekend, and I wanted to talk about what Verge said yesterday on AFR, because it's been sort of, I don't want to say it's been a big story, but it has been one of those underlying stories in the last, let's say, 6 weeks or so at LSU with how the rev share is distributed, and that's going on with what they were going to do with men's basketball, the continued support of women's basketball and baseball, where Jay Johnson has been polite but firm. I need certain things to compete, and the rev share that has operated on the 75% to football, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and the 5% to everything else. Well, that's going to change a little bit. Not the football part. The football part is, as he said, I think non-negotiable, as it should be. That's kind of the idea. And men's basketball is going to get theirs, but he said that he talked to Jay Johnson, and Johnson confirmed the meeting. Osbury says moving forward, we're going to make sure that baseball, their rev share is going up. We're going to have more money for them for NIL. I've been meeting with Jay. He had some concerns about where we were and some things that we had to do, and we met this week on that. Johnson said, I'm very fortunate to be working with Verge. He was an instrumental part of hiring me at LSU, which I didn't know, and he played a large part in our 2 national championships, knows the importance of baseball. We had a great meeting this week, full confidence in the leadership and the commitment to make LSU baseball the best it can be. So that's good news, because everybody's got challenges with the rev share and how it's divided. And of all people, to make a comment on Tennessee women's basketball, Holly Rowe, sideline reporter for ESPN, very much involved in women's basketball, made a statement yesterday that I found very unusual. That said, it's a shame what's going on with Tennessee women's basketball, and that tug of war is what Verge can't allow to happen here, because tug of war at Tennessee between women's basketball and baseball has, in my opinion, really hamstrung both programs. Tennessee's coach took another job, and the women's basketball coach who was brought in last year right now has no players. Not just no players from, the usual turnover, but the number 1 recruiting class or number 2 recruiting class last year, and everybody's gone. They got 1 recruit there right now. So it's hurt both of their programs, and that's what everybody wants to avoid. There's a certain amount of money to go around. You got to raise it, but at some point you got to understand there's a whole department that you got to fund.
Well, but Charlie, I mean, what kind of success have they had outside of Pat Summitt? What success has the baseball program had? They've been to Omaha before. Had outside of Vitello?
They went to Omaha probably
never really threatened. Even with Helton, even with
Chris Burke. Yeah, they had some really. Tennessee baseball used to have one really good team about every 5 years. When R.A. Dickey was another one that went through there.
Vitello was so much better than everybody.
Yes.
It was so much better than every. LSU football is done with multiple coaches.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's the baseball program has, 3 national championship coaches now.
Yeah.
I mean, so those, there's some comparisons and there's also some differences. I mean, they really. What's the deepest run to Tennessee women's basketball? We ain't got a whole lot of people, a lot of programs competing at the very top. I mean, what have they done? What serious run did they make outside of?
They have won 1 conference championship since Pat Summitt retired.
How long ago was that?
11 years ago.
And ain't nobody close to them in the SEC when she retired.
For most of it. No, you're absolutely right. But they still hold that program in the highest regard up there. Now, they haven't won the conference. They have made the second weekend of the tournament 3 of the last 5 years.
Man,
but that's
no
like,
Final Fours?
The last time they went to the Final Four was in 2008. Which was the last year they won it. Yeah, Summit was there until 2012.
And when you talk about deep resource women's basketball programs, okay, UConn, South Carolina, LSU's up there now, but Tennessee's in the conversation. They are underperforming poorly.
Yes.
They are not what they were without their all-time coach. There's some different programs like that around the country. As far as what have they done outside there? The best coach they've ever had. For instance, like Virginia Tech football. Are they ever going to be close to what they were when Beamer was there?
It would be hard to see Virginia Tech do that again. Yeah, it would be hard to see them do that. Tennessee women's basketball has still had reasonable success for a normal program, but not for theirs. So what do you say when that happens? And that fan base is pretty loud, okay? That the Tennessee women's basketball fan base – it's big, it's loud. So you want more money. Well, that was the tug of war that, Vitello had with them. And I'm not telling you that's the only reason he went to San Francisco, but it had something to do with it.
And Johnson, and the biggest thing was when, to try and, throw that support to McMahon, where he was clearly not working the fundraising as much as the others, like a Johnson. Clearly not.
Right.
And so I could see that frustration. I mean, you don't have a group of restaurants and just keep dumping more money into your losing one than the ones they're producing profits for you.
Is there donor fatigue even among the successful programs?
Everybody has donor fatigue because every college sport is a non-salary cap sport. And they're not governing themselves.
And what do you get?
They're not going to. I mean, everybody wants to win so bad. So just a little bit more, just a little bit more. But there's no vision. I mean, Louisville's coming out. Man, Louisville's like, man, we're tapped out. Like it's so.
And if you win, okay, even if you win, let's say you're a big money donor, you give 7 figures to a sport, and you win. You win a championship. He said, well, so what are you going to come back? Hey, I need 7 figures again this year. What do I get out of it? Okay, it's great my team won, but at some point I'm tired feeding the beast. And if you're losing, you can say, it's a lot easier to say, well, we gave money last year and they didn't win, so I'm just going to keep my money.
Well, the
this
LSU
time.
model's not sustainable either.
None of them are.
You can't have $40 million a year for your football, Ross.
None of them
You can't
are.
have that. You can't have this for your I mean, no, you can't.
The administrators have said as much. We can't keep doing this. I mean, the president, has brought his executive orders out last week. Going to hold up in court? I don't know.
But LSU baseball is so much. But they're always going to have more private donorship too. So they're always going to have. I mean, there's no baseball fan base or support fan base / donor support group that's going to give. And Bertman set it up. And Bertman hustled it first. And man, Johnson embraced. You got Bertman talking to the team after some of the games. I mean, he's embraced it. And so his Bertman supporters are there. I mean, Johnson's handled everything right. Yeah. So even if the collective is like not quite maybe what they want, maybe it's more than others in the SEC, maybe not more than all of them, what they get from the university and what they get privately, who's going to have more than that?
Well, I think his concern was that the rev share is exceeding what LSU's getting at other universities that are willing to take some of it away from football. Okay, Mississippi State is the poster child for this. Arkansas maybe right behind them. That they're willing to put more rev share into baseball because they can compete in that sport. Okay, well that's real. I get it.
Okay, but he can't leave for. I mean. So what school is that? Mississippi State. You can tell me Mississippi State is going to give more private ownership in baseball than LSU? No way.
No.
Nobody is.
But
nobody is. So, but that's part of the deal. He didn't cultivate it by himself. He's sustaining it, and he might be building upon it. Okay, and he's doing with everything he's supposed to be doing. But that's a resource that has to be included in. It has to be factored in.
Sure. And what they're looking at is, would the rev share at another school exceed what not just your rev share is, but is your private donors enough to make up for the rev share distribution? I don't know.
You got an idea.
I got an idea. It's good here. I mean, as good as you could possibly ask for. Does it? Are there other people shooting at you? You bet.
Oh. No, there is. All right, don't forget over here at Iverstein Butcher. We started with Galen, man, when he was down the road on Perkins, closer to College Drive. We're on Perkins, but we're right by S&M. He got more space because he wanted to do more of the restaurant stuff. So you can go down the line and get the plate lunch with the sides. Meat and 2 sides, man. It's fresh, it's delicious. Or you can do the sandwiches. I mean, that they were featured on diners, drive-ins, and drive-throughs, or the DDD, Guy Fieri's crew. He gave it. It was really well done. If you haven't seen it, it was really, really good. So, and it's also grilling season. So, we're celebrate. We sacrifice on Fridays and eat South Louisiana seafood during Lent, and then we celebrate after by throwing a lot of meat on the grill. Huh? I mean. I'm Charlie, I'm
laughing because the use of your word sacrifice is so.
I know
it's funny.
Guys. So anyway, but they got all the seasoning that they make over here. They got all the stocks that he does. If you want to do your own whatever your soups and etouffees and stuff, and man, the meat is fresh. So you got everything, the steaks, you got the homemade sausages, the burgers. The steak burgers are a must, man. I'm going to pick up about 8 of them, do some Masters grilling over the weekend. So come on by and see us over here at Iverstein. Grab some lunch, grab some burgers, but it's grilling season, and you can load up over here at Iverstein's Butcher on Perkins, just off of Essen.
Patrick Reed with his second front 9 eagle is now at 5 under at 5 under par and leading the Masters. Live at Iverstein, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, Handycast on YouTube. Brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026 and supporting our Louisiana farmers. More information, go to SupremeRice.com. We told you right before we left that Patrick Reed, his second eagle of the front nine. So he is going to number 9 at 5 under par with a 2-stroke lead over Tommy Fleetwood, who had 3 consecutive birdies at 2, 3, and 4, and is also going to number 9. And LSU's Sam Burns at 2 under, had an eagle at 2. He's had a birdie and a bogey since then. He is going to number 11. So, Max, early returns here on what you see with the conditions, the pin placements, etc.
This might be among some of the harder conditions we're going to see this week, just because it's not only it's firm, we expected that, but the wind is up a little bit today, and you'll see that on especially Amen Corner. We're used to seeing the wind swirl on 12, and we saw this with what was the leader, the solo leader, Kurt Kitayama. Off a bogey at 11, hit it long over the green on 12. That's the famous par 3 that we saw Jordan Spieth, ruin his Masters defense before on. And he ends up chipping it from back of the green into the water over the green.
Oops.
And makes a double bogey. So he is now 1 under through 12, and this little bit of wind that swirls, it can be a real problem, especially on the back 9. But it's going to dry this course out even more, bake it out. And the players have expected, based on all they had talked about in the press before this tournament, that it is going to be really spicy on the weekend. They can get it as spicy as they want. They'll still water it, make sure it's green looking, but they want this to play firm and fast. Rarely do the weather conditions allow for that, but this year it's going to allow for that. So it's going to put a premium on being able to hit your spots with your approaches and then getting up and down. But they did, one of the weird observations this year, they said around the greens, those surrounds, typically they grow the grass up a little bit and it's mowed into you. So it's very hard to chip into the bank and then have it stop or putt it. Well, we might see a few more putts off the green. We saw a couple putts hold off the green already this morning. Patrick Reed hold from just off the green on number 2 for eagle. And so we could see some different approach or different around the green shots than we're used to seeing, where you normally have to flight it all the way up to the green and get it to stop. You might see more putts or hybrids in and around the greens.
Any differences in the afternoon group that we're expecting?
We're seeing maybe a slight dip in the wind, but it's going to be firm and fast. I don't think there's going to be a massive wave advantage either way this afternoon.
Some of the bigger names going off in the afternoon groups when we'll be able to CBS, I think, or ESPN picks up their coverage at 2 o'clock. We'll see early returns on Amazon Prime's coverage of this thing.
I have not seen it. I think it starts at noon. If it's not noon, it's 11 a.m., so I have not seen any of it.
So ESPN's coverage starts at 2?
Yes.
At 2, unless
so
I'm
they get 2 hours before.
I think 12
Today
to
and
2.
Tomorrow.
It's either 12 to 2 or 11 to 1. I think it's 12 to 2 for Prime and then 2 ESPN.
Scheffler's Patrick Reed second choice now on the live board.
Love it.
Patrick Reed and Tommy Fleetwood.
My 2 guys.
Come on, Max.
1 and 2. Let's stop the tournament.
Let's
you know
go,
what?
baby.
This tournament's great. I've had enough of it. I think we
Me
can stop
too.
it right now.
Stop the tournament.
Wow. But Sammy Burns.
I agree with you guys.
Sammy Burns about to get to Amen Corner. He's on 11 right now, 2 under par, tied for 3rd with Nick Taylor, Akshay Bhatia, Sam Stevens, and Brian
Shoffley hit that driver on 8, that par 5 8 in the trees, but he was able to scramble for a par on that one. A missed opportunity, obviously, though, on a par 5. And Rory McIlroy, another par as well. So through 6, he is at even par as well. Matt Fitzpatrick, we talked about him a lot. He is 1 bogey and 7 par, so he's 1 over right now.
On him, something we didn't mention yesterday, with it being firm and fast, one of the things we've always heard at Augusta, but it rarely comes true because of the softness of the greens, apex height. How high do you hit the ball? If you hit it high and it's descending at an angle, it's easier to stop it on these greens.
A high hitter, huh?
Fitzpatrick, a lower hitter.
Really? Okay.
Fitzpatrick hits the ball
on his
lower.
irons?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, especially with the driver, but his irons come lower. It's a little bit harder to hold these very precise, very small pin locations where there's all these fall-offs. The actual green is much smaller than what it looks like, and so he's the one I was a little bit concerned with. You think about the higher ball hitters. Rory's a higher ball hitter. Fleetwood is a high ball hitter, so that's something to look out for this week.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service. It's what you get when you dial 296-0060. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Iverstein, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
And we are also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, open in La Rose and Lockport as well now with 4 locations. Do-it-yourself season is here. Now, if you can do some painting here this spring, save on painting supplies at the website right now, thethibodeaustore.com. Everything on the website, same-day pickup and delivery available on some of these items. All of your garden supplies, all of your fertilizers, your seeders, your spreaders are all on special right now. Lawn and garden tools available. Outdoor cooking, patio furniture, outdoor power equipment available at the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and also at Highway 70 in Pierreport. If you're going down fishing, down to the coast, stop at the Thibodeau Store. Huge selection of fishing supplies at 900 St. Patrick Highway. Open until 5:30 daily. And online, it's thethibodeaustore.com. We're here at Iverstein Butcher.
Having difficulties hooking up with Colucci. Was 3-0 last. We got some man. Colucci's dad was just rushed to the hospital. So
okay.
Poor fella, man. They very, very close to his dad, so he will be unable to join us today. Anyway, our thoughts and prayers go with. I met Papa Colucci multiple times, man. Yeah, got to take pictures with him. Just awesome guy. Him and Dwayne are very close, so we'll keep you updated. So Dwayne will not be able to join us today.
Well, we certainly understand that, and we hope the best. For him. This will give us an opportunity to jump into a topic that is starting to pick up some steam now, with the NFL draft 2 weeks away from today, and that's surrounding Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback. Quarterbacks always dominate the pre-draft discussion, but Fernando Mendoza is locked in to going to the number 1 pick to the Raiders, even with Kirk Cousins going over there. It's just a matter of how they're going to play that. Simpson is seen as the second best quarterback on the board, on most boards, and the question is whether he is going to be a first-round pick. Max, I think you had some odds that we saw, some of the early odds, because we don't have a whole lot of draft odds earlier in the week. And the big drop-off is right there at 32 as to whether or not he's going to go in the first round of this draft.
Yeah, it seems more likely than not that he will be drafted in the NFL draft, but that's according to current odds. Jimmy, you know as well as anybody, these odds can change quite a bit on the draft.
Oh,
and,
yeah. They can change a little bit.
To be drafted round 1 right now, he is minus 205, so a sizable favorite, notable favorite nonetheless. Worth mentioning, of course, if you get that first-round pick, if he's drafted first, he gets the extra year on the team's, option, which could be important for him because I don't expect him to start in year 1. I don't think he's ready, and that's the lack of starts in college would have to do to that.
I'm paying attention right now, and I've got a pretty strong opinion too, and I'm gonna play it. But I know we don't talk a lot of NBA regular season for obvious reasons. I mean, it's pretty tough to get excited about regular season that the players aren't really excited about playing. So, but the Rookie of the Year market has been very interesting, and Cooper Flagg is, the obvious. Well, he was the favorite, before they tipped off this season, but his team is, and he's kind of been, just kind of. It's been a tough rookie year, and his teammate Tom Knippel, he has been lighting it up with a team that is one of the better teams. I think like 27-8 second half of the season. And I think they're in the 9 slot or the play-in with the Charlotte Hornets. But shooting 44% from 3. We know he doesn't miss free throws, like 86% there. I mean, he's having a better year. Well, Dallas coming down the stretch, and they've been one of the tankers, but the last couple of games, didn't he throw 50 and then a 40 back-to-back type of game? And he went from like 10-1 to minus $3. I mean, it is like in 2 games. It has been, and I think it is a big-time overreaction to a couple of games in sort of meaningless time. You know, the guy was it Bontemps who does the straw polls, who have been gospel. I mean, and that was before these games, but still, he had him at, I think, 80% of the poll said they were Knipple was getting it. I think it's a big-time overreaction to a couple of really meaningless at best type of games. And I think Knipple is a real bargain at that price.
The games were 51 against Orlando and 45 against the Lakers. They went 1-1 in those games. Flag has got, I think it's 3 of the top 5 scoring games for players under the age of 20 or any teenager, is, I guess, how they're listing it. And he's had a good year. He's averaging over 20 points a game. He's shooting 47% from the floor, and that's with 6.5 rebounds and 4.5 assists a game. So he's had a good year.
Knipple's shooting higher from the floor. He's
Knipple's
shooting considerably higher from 3.
Yeah,
43 and 30%.
I think Knipple's had the better year. I'm not.
He's playing more meaningful minutes as well. They
are in the 9-hole.
He is part of the reason for Charlotte's second half success. I mean, it's just. I'm not telling you I'd take him, his career right now. But you want to talk about efficiency? It's not even close, man.
So how much of this is a popularity contest? People that had locked in, voters who had predicted Cooper Flag was the overwhelming choice coming out of the draft to be the Rookie of the Year. How many people are just, well, he's had a good year. That's who I picked before the season. That's who I'm going to stick with. Sometimes we get that in college. If you picked him before the season to be the Rookie,
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That should not have anything to do with it.
It shouldn't, but it shouldn't in the college football.
No, that's completely different. That's completely different. That's good. No. No. I would be. I don't know any voter who sticks. College football is completely different. I mean, have you ever heard of somebody saying, "Well, I got to stick with my pick before the season"?
No, they just get it in their head that that's who they're going to pick, and they say he had a good year.
I think it's completely. I just think it's a bad comparison. Sorry, Charlie, but I mean, I think this is a guy that's played more meaningful minutes and he's performed better. Period.
Didn't we sort of discuss in the MVP talk where you want to be able to look back on your pick, a few years from now and say that was right? I was right to pick Cooper Flag, down the road. You look back, oh, yeah, he was the Rookie of the Year. He was the best rookie in that class.
We've seen some rookies in different sports. I mean, like Vince Young was Offensive Rookie of the Year. Well, rookies run the ball more. I mean, but Vince Young, I don't think it's as much as an MVP. I don't think it's the same type of thing. I mean, I can't believe that somebody was going, well, Darko got taken ahead of Carmelo and Dwayne Wade. Well, I gotta vote. I gotta put him up. No, I don't know. I'll put my money where my mouth is. So.
And you're gonna put it on Knipple.
Absolutely.
Okay. Here's a side-by-side comparison. I've seen 0 Charlotte Hornets games this season, and maybe a little bit more Flag just because the highlights are on there a whole lot more. Flag's outscoring him by a little over 2 points a game. He's got about a rebound and a half more per game. He's got about an assist and a little over 1 assist a game more. And they're shooting roughly the same thing from the floor. 46.7% for Flag, 47.8% for Knipple. Now, Knipple is a better three-point shooter at 37. 43%. I was looking at the last 10. Give me a second. 43% and
to 30
to 30%. Yeah, 29% actually for Flag. So that's where Knipple's big get is on the threes, and that's what he brought it in.
How many more attempts does How many more shots is Flag shooting per game?
17.1 to, let's see, shots per game. I don't have it for Knipple. It was 17.1 shots per game for him, and I don't have it on Knipple. I'm looking at 4 more shots per game, 13.5. 17.5 to 13.5. So he's shooting 4 more shots per game. They're shooting about the same percent from the floor.
Not from three.
Not from three.
Not even close.
He is shooting better.
43 to 29.
43 to 29. There's no argument there. But if you're just looking at straight stats, there are people that will look at it. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do because Charlotte has played.
You want to look at the efficiency numbers?
You can if you want.
How many more minutes is Flag playing more minutes too?
Flag is playing 31 and a half, about 2 more minutes per game. About 2 more, 33 and change to 31 and change. Yeah. There are some people that are going to look at this and say, Flag's got more points, more rebounds, more assists, and they're shooting the same thing from the floor, and they're going to vote for him. Now, I'm not telling you that Dallas has been in the tank and Charlotte is playing. They could play themselves into at least the 8-hole, if not the 7-hole. But so I'm certainly not going to tell you that it's not more relevant minutes. Could they play themselves into the 7? Yeah, they could play themselves in the 7. They could even play themselves into the 6, even with just 2 games remaining. So those minutes are more significant. Dallas is, they've been in the tank from the very beginning. But just the raw numbers, Flag's right there with him.
Numbers are going down too. I think the highest I've seen now is minus $2, and the lowest is like minus 40.
Yeah, minus 150 with our friends at Bally's.
Yeah.
So for Cooper Flag, by the way.
Yeah. You still get plus money. What's the best price you can get on? Plus like 130, 140?
Plus 130 probably on Knipple. I haven't seen that one, but.
Well, BetMGM has it 130.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Take him. I'll root for you.
Charlie, can we go back to Ty Simpson for a sec?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Don't you think it matters so much where he goes, how much time he has and what sort of system he's in on if he'll be successful? Because I think he can be successful in the NFL, but he needs time.
It would be greatly to his advantage to go somewhere where they don't need a quarterback. And when I say need a quarterback, I mean where he's not going to be shoved out because they've just got a placeholder. I'm thinking about Arizona, okay? Arizona's content to go with Jacoby Brissett this season to start. But if you bring in somebody like – if you trade back into the first round, there's going to be some pressure to put him there as soon as they're in October and maybe they open up 1-5 or something like that. I thought the best place for him to go would have been the Rams. When the Rams had 2 first-round picks, they no longer do.
Yeah, and are they going to trade back in the first to
because
get
there would be no pressure on. There would be no pressure to put him in front of Matthew Stafford. Okay, you put him. If the Jets took him at the beginning of the second round or traded back into the back end of the first round, there would be pressure for him to play as soon as you're in October. Geno Smith's playing. You're 1-5. You're not going anywhere. Put the young guy in. There wouldn't have been that. Los Angeles would have been a good spot for him because Stafford is very close to the end of his career. This would probably be his last year. But there would be no pressure to unseat him. They would just say, okay, yeah, let him. And you've got Sean McVay's about as fertile an offensive mind as there is in the game right now. That would have been a spot, I think, that would have been the best way for him.
Browns are picking 24th. That would be an interesting one, but they kind of need quarterbacks.
It's crowded. Do they? It's a crowded room as it is.
How many do they need?
They have quantity. They don't have quality. So,
got a Pro Bowl quarterback.
That's the funniest thing you said all day. And it's accurate. Right now, you still do a few shows in Cleveland. Who's the favorite to take the first snap in September? Because I'd tell you, I think it's Deshaun Watson.
I think Deshaun's up there. I do think so. I think Stefanski
Got him trying to get out of the building for 2 years. It's probably going to start the opener, right?
Stefanski was a little closer to Watson than I realized. I thought they were kind of split, and they're actually, Stefanski backed him in a lot of ways. So now that Stefanski's not in the building, I don't know if that changes some things. You've got Monken as the coach, so that's another. We'll see who he plays sort of favorites to. I think it's Watson, and then I think it's Shedeur right after that. But it's
Haven't we seen enough of Watson?
I would think so, but
I mean, God.
I mean, there was a time where he was a great player too. And what have we seen from Shedeur? I like Shedeur in the
no,
draft,
but I mean, we still holding out that he can recapture his past.
With the injuries, I tend to think not that he's had. I would rather throw out Shedeur if it were.
He was great. I mean, he was great, but he ain't seen great in a long, long time.
There's no hope that he's the long-term solution.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, you think Charlie? You think he's got a chance to recapture his past?
No, I just think.
I mean, why? Haven't we seen? Hasn't he gotten like 5 more chances than anybody else?
Yeah, but I still think that there's a chance he would be the best option for them to win.
No. It's
start the opener. But yeah, that's the guy that's been trying to get out of the building for 2 years and couldn't afford to.
You want to get knifed? You want to get hit up the side of the head? I mean, you know what it's a pretty brutal.
I don't like any of my options. Let's put it that way.
You know what I like? My option is when that unit breaks down at AC and you need total maintenance to come out there and get it fixed so you can sleep with that AC blowing. That's right. Service today every day means you call today, you get service today. Nobody sleeps hot when they call 480-1000. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. Total maintenance, AC, heating, generator installations, maintenance, factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem products. Generators, authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings as well. Lucas Ragusa has been in the industry for a long, long time, and he understands because he's worked in every position along the way, so he understands exactly what is needed to put a great operation together. And he's done that both in the New Orleans area and the Baton Rouge area. So they've got completely different staffs and offices in the New Orleans and Baton Rouge area, still not to compromise either. Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Iverstein, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
We're here at Iverstein Butcher on Perkins Road near Essen, monitoring the Masters, where both of the leaders, Patrick Reed and Tommy Fleetwood, bogeyed at number 10. Max, who is Christopher Rattan?
Fleetwood bogeyed too?
He did.
Come on, man.
Reed's got the lead by himself.
Keep his kid off the course.
Who is Christopher Rattan?
Norwegian.
Okay.
He's mainly been playing on separate tours, I think, in Europe, but he's been on the PGA Tour this year.
Well, he got an invitation, and he's 3 under par. He just went birdie eagle on 12-13 to move into a 3-way tie for second place. It includes Sam Burns. Sam Burns had a birdie at number 12.
At Golden Bell. Yeah, Golden Bell, that's right. Birdie for Burns.
And in celebration of that, we got the Golden Bell Burger here. The Dream, a.k.a. the Dream Killer. Double smash patty with pimento cheese, and it is on special here at Iverstein. Come on by and grab one for lunch. Say hello to us here on Perkins Road.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
And return here at Iverstein Butcher on Perkins Road near Essen. Grilling season, Jimmy.
Oh, you think we got some things over here? How about some grass-fed ground beef? How about some steak burgers, a chuck roast, brisket, choice brisket, flat iron steak, ribeye steaks, New York strips, prime boneless ribeyes, choice ribeyes, tri-tips, fillets, choice beef rib chop, pork tenderloin, pork skirt steak. Huh? I get you going. All kinds of sausages.
I'm ready. I'm ready as soon as the show's over.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, in the spirit of the Masters, the Golden Bell, a.k.a. the Dream Killer, Max.
Killed Jordan Spieth's dreams before, yep.
It did?
That's number 12, the par 3, yep. The Golden Bell, over the water. May have killed Kurt Kitayama's dreams. He made a double today.
Who was it that kept going for it and kept like 3 in a row in the water or something?
Well, Spieth hit.
Is it defending champion or
Kevin Costner in Tin Cup.
no, in the Masters.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday, maybe a Sunday.
You're thinking of Spieth.
It's
on
Spieth,
Sunday.
huh?
Spieth.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He hit it in the water and just dropped and hit in the water again.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where Danny Willett ended up chasing him and won. That's the 12th. Which
Was
Sam
that on
Burns-
Saturday or Sunday?
That was Sunday.
Yeah.
He had a 5-shot lead going to the back 9 and did not win. Danny Willett, he put on the green jacket. He was defending his title.
It wasn't Spieth's play who he was partnered with that day. Then
Smiley Kaufman was paired with him in the final group that day.
Oh, that was it. Oh
That was
gosh,
Smiley
poor
Kaufman.
Smiley missed that easy birdie putt on one and just went south since. I
He
mean,
ended up shooting like 81, I think it was.
Now with the
yeah,
broadcast,
it was a rough. But he was in the final pairing.
He was
He
in the
was
final pairing.
tied or had a one.
He was
stroke
1 or
lead.
2 back.
One back. Oh, he
of
won more. He
Spieth.
won 2 back.
I think he was 1 back of
Yeah,
Spieth
yeah.
to start the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
66-year-old Freddie Couples comes out of the gate, birdie.
All right. How many holes? How many holes does he stay?
Under par?
Well, from before he goes over par for the tournament. I got over on the 23 holes.
23 holes, so
Under.
somewhere in the front.
Yeah, that's
Under.
probably a little high.
I would say I
What
would put it
year
at like
was it?
12 and a half.
How long ago when he finished like top 5 or he was?
He finished. He was
in, like, the final-
one cut the last 8 years, and that was in 23. But he was hanging around into the weekend. He kind of faded on Sunday. He finished tied for 50th. Okay, which is pretty much the ones that make the cut. As the last time he was in the top 20 was in 2014. But he
He was
hangs
18th
around.
in 2017 as well.
I'm sorry, 18th in 2017.
That's probably the
Yeah.
one I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
17th.
Wasn't he? He was kind of close going into the final round, huh?
That,
For
may
him,
be
yeah.
a bit more recent than I remember. I don't remember being 2017.
He finished finished tied for 18th that year, but he always
But
seems
that
to.
doesn't that what it tells us with Couples and his flirtations way past his prime and other champions. What it was, Tiger and Jack, 22 and 24 years range of their major victories. When the last one being at the Masters, Olazabal today having doesn't it show that familiarity with the course is just so important?
No doubt. We saw Jose Maria Olazabal get off to a great start today. He was 2 under. He is now over par after a big stretch, but he's 60 years old. And it's one of the things, this is the stickiest course that they'll play all year. It definitely helps because they play it once a year. Certain players don't get to play it once a year. It's a smaller field. And so, yes, absolutely. The familiarity for some of these players helps. Phil Mickelson won long ago. He was 50 years old and finished 3rd place.
Same year he won the PGA.
And he was not in good form going into that tournament and just showed up. Justin Rose has had great form, or not great form, and showed up well. So sometimes you can just get a random older player who has the experience and just has good vibes getting back to the grounds. But
here's maybe my favorite stat along those lines. Tiger Woods wins the tournament in 1997, his first Masters. Okay, he's unquestionably at that point the greatest golfer, the best golfer in the world at that point. The next year,
It's a close one, huh?
1998. yeah. The next year, 1998, Jack Nicklaus, at 58 years old, beat Tiger Woods and finished tied for 6th. At 58, that was what Jack did. Okay,
Wow.
So yes, and I realize I'm picking the greatest player ever when I make that comparison. But yeah, for Jack Nicklaus at 58 to be able to go back and beat Tiger Woods, who had already won the tournament the very next year, yes, familiarity makes a difference.
2017 Fred Couples was tied for 6th after the 2nd round, fell off on Saturday. So, 2017, he was in the top 10 after 2 rounds. So it is possible. He's a little older now, doesn't really get around as well. So I don't expect that this year. But nevertheless, we saw it. Jose Maria Olazabal, who's interesting, at 60 years old, was paired with the longest hitter in the field in Aldrich Potgieter, who is dead last. He is 10 over par.
Well, just
today.
3 years ago, Fred Couples was the oldest player at 63 to ever make the cut.
Yes.
So that was that was what
Had a really good first round that day. I think he was 1 under at the end of the first day. We are seeing a
Where's
little
Justin Rose? What time?
Rose, let's see. He is not off yet. He goes off with Spieth and Koepka at 12:20.
It's a lock. It's a Rose Knipple parlay. Rose first round.
First round leader.
Yeah.
Okay. You could do first round top 20. That's the good thing about some of these picks. You don't have to just go first round leader. But it is interesting as well. You mentioned Golden Bale, Asterisk Tally, and the ANWA, the Augusta National Women's Amateur, which we see the week before. She had a nightmare hole and made a 7 on 12 as well. So we get to a little preview of the Masters on this past Sunday. And then one other thing to mention, a big group of variants. Normally they're very tightly compacted after the first round. Everyone kind of shoots around, even par. There's not a whole lot of guys who are eliminated, just kind of the back end of the field. The seniors and maybe the amateurs are in the back of the field. They're eliminated. But we're seeing a lot more variance this week, and I think that has to do with the firmness of the greens. If you're going to challenge these hole locations, you might get burnt. You might make some double bogeys, and so we're seeing a bigger gap between the top and the bottom of the field this year as opposed to normal.
Who's this kid, Max? He's the only guy that you look older than.
Ooh, he might be an amateur. Who is he? Oh, he's playing with Rory and Young. Is that what I'm seeing? Looks like. I think. Rory was paired with Mason Howell, if I remember correctly. That's an amateur. Mason Howell,
here.
The best amateur, projected to be low. I didn't see him, but
they'll show him.
That appears to be Mason Howell. Yeah, Mason Howell was the low amateur favorite at like plus 250 or so. Tee times, he was paired with
McIlroy.
So that's Mason Howell. That's who I thought it was.
We were speculating if Morikawa, how compromised would he would be. He just finished front 9. He 2 over. No birdies.
What's the price on him missing a cut?
He was plus 200, but I got down on it, and I went to get down, and he was significantly limited everywhere.
I know
you could not get down a big bet.
Humans had a lot. We'll talk to you later. He had a lot of matchups. I couldn't find any matchups early this morning. Trying to fade him.
Yeah, they're going to take him off. Matchups, they have some flexibility on what they choose to do there, and they try to avoid him because of the there was a lot of question on if he would even play the tournament. I kind of thought he might withdraw before the tournament, but he gave it a go, and so far 2 over.
Did you hear his interview?
The first 9, sorry.
Did you hear his interview?
I did. He's still going through something. It's interesting. He talked about he's got other injuries. The back's not giving him a problem, but other injuries. That's something we're not really aware of, what those other injuries are.
Oh, that's not the bite I'm talking about. It's one, I can't deal with the pain. It's not something you're looking for if you're hoping to back him. I mean, he was full of excuses, heading in.
By the way, a little cheat code. If you have, smart TVs and you're able to hook up to the internet, I know not everyone has Amazon Prime. Masters.com also has the broadcast, so it's not like you have to have Amazon Prime.
Masters.org or
Masters.com right now you can watch the broadcast as is, so it'll roll straight into the coverage of ESPN.
So .org just has the featured groups.
Masters.com has all the broadcasts. They have feature group coverage. They have Amen Corner, holes 4 and 6, and something like that. But they have the broadcast feed right now on Masters.com.
And Sam Burns has just rolled in another birdie to take a share of the lead at number 13. Burns is now 4 under, tied with Patrick Reed. So Burns on the day, 3 birdies, an eagle, and a bogey at the par 3, number 6. Burns' best ever finish in this event is tied for 29th.
Here we go.
Which
guy.
was 3 years ago.
The one thing
Mr. 54 holes.
Oh, Ludwig Kinghoff. There you go. I'll give the audience the hint on who Mr. 54 is. Ludwig Obert, who can't play on Sundays, but might play well today for what it's worth. I will say as well, you mentioned Sam Burns. He has struggled here, but he's also done well in firm and fast conditions over the years.
I was going to ask you what might be different this year.
The U.S. Open last year at Oakmont until Sunday when it was very wet and not firm and fast. Much of that week, it plays firm and fast, and so if there's one thing to look at, his major track record not very good, but a couple of the firmer and faster ones. Maybe Pinehurst a couple of years ago, the U.S. Open. That was a firm and fast one. Played a little better than he has in most of the other major appearances, so maybe that's something that favors Burns.
He's played 4 times in his tournament. He's missed 2 cuts, finished tie 29, tie 46. So he struggled here, but not today.
Rory 1-under's got about a 7-footer for a birdie, and he drops it down. So he takes at the turn. He is 2 under. 2 under, so
And we
just fine.
The closing stretch, 14 through 18, playing very hard. It's early. Only 8 players have finished their round to this point. But the closing stretch, it could be based on the wind. 17 and 18 probably playing into the wind if I had to think. Just looking at these, they're averaging a half shot over par each. So
everybody had a good
monitor.
time at the Champions Dinner, but Bubba Watson, he was looking for smothered, covered in whatever, the Waffle House hash browns deluxe.
He just wanted, what did he do? He did just baked chicken or steamed chicken with confetti cake. That was his dessert. Interesting. He did it twice because he's
the same thing twice. As bad as the reviews were the first time, he did it again when he won it the second time.
I don't know if the reviews are bad. Nobody really.
Oh,
I would think.
Come on, man.
You want to be respectful to the champion, but yeah, I think confetti cake. I'd kind of get a chuckle out of that.
Yes, you win the Masters, you can do whatever you want, but I would have tried to do a little bit better.
Salad,
than that, right?
chicken, and confetti cake.
Well, they throw ice on these azaleas to keep them from blooming earlier.
They do.
With the,
they do. What's that? The fake ice. What do they call that? They put
slow melting ice or whatever.
No, the dry ice.
Dry ice.
Dry ice. They put dry ice kind of under the beds. Is what the rumor is apparently, to try to keep them cold as long as they can. I think some of the petals have been dropping, but I saw a picture last week of the azaleas on 13, and they were flexing.
Sammy Burns, co-leader, huh?
Yep.
4
Burns and
under
Reed.
through 13. Patrick Reed, 4 under.
The 2 Louisiana connections in this event.
That's right.
Burns and Reed. All you need, I guess, is Ted Scott now with Scotty Scheffler to get up there, the caddy, and then you'd have the trio of Louisiana connections.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations are Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest location at Burbank and Bluebonnet. Our great team of bankers at United Community Bank, David Henry, David Campbell, Hunter Creed, Nicole Glover, Heath Meir, and Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Iverstein, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Here at Iverstein Farms Butcher. Sam Burns and Patrick Reed both at 4 under par, up at the top of the leaderboard at the Masters. We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff. Look, man, when your back's hurting, when your neck's hurting, you got soreness, you've got things that are keeping you from getting a good night's sleep or maybe restricting your motion a little bit. Let them do for you what they've done for our family over the years, which is get you in, get you adjusted, get you to feeling better, whether it's an exercise and stretching program that will target those problem areas into a dry needle or electric nerve stimulation, cryo or ultrasound therapy. They will be able to help you out. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla, Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Here's another one that I'd like to ask you about. Aaron Rye, am I saying that right?
Correct.
Okay. Won the par 3 yesterday. Nobody cares, right? Except that the par 3 winner has never won the big tournament. Birdie out of the gate here to open up for him at the first 2 holes. So he's 2 under par. Why is that just coincidence that the par 3 winners never won it, or is there something to that?
I think there's probably something to it. It's kind of there's very little skill in that tournament, in that event. We've seen Gary Player win it at very old age. They have funnel pins, so there's not a whole lot of skill in terms of winning that.
Funnel pins,
meaning
exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, the ball just drips. They want hole-in-ones for that. It's kind of built for TV. Maybe the Jason Kelsey and Kevin Hart stuff's a little overboard at this point, but the first 2 holes are playing a lot easier. I wouldn't take too much of it. He's a very slow player, Aaron Rye, very methodical. So I don't know if he'll have the biggest fan base rooting for him to put on the green jacket, but nevertheless, it is a good start. And there have been certain players who specifically get their caddies or whoever that is, their family, whoever they bring with them, to hit a shot because that disqualifies them from the par 3 contest. That way they can't win it. But you get a nice crystal, just like you do when if you make an eagle on this golf course during the Masters. You get a crystal glass, which is a really cool kind of memorabilia to have, even if you only play in one Masters. It's just cool to have. Oh yeah, made an eagle, crystal glass.
You
I
can
made
put
an
that
eagle
in your
at the Masters.
office where everybody can
Oh,
see
absolutely.
it, right?
Or you flex on people. Maybe you have you have some friends over and you drink out of it. But it would be a great flex to have. But the Masters does a lot of those things right, and it would be cool to win. I'm sure if I were just playing it at one time, which I never will, I would still try to have some fun on the par 3. But I'd probably let somebody else hit a shot just to have them have fun, and you don't really need to win the par 3.
So everybody seems to like the families being out there, and I watched for a little while yesterday, and Fleetwood's kid is cute, and it's cool, and everybody out there with their kids. Did they go too far with the celebrity caddies? You got some mixed reactions out of that with Kelsey and Kevin Hart yesterday. Is it too much, or
that doesn't say
it,
Masters to me, man? Sorry.
I'm
Well,
surprised
Kelsey,
that they agreed to it. To be honest
Kelsey
with
was
you.
an ESPN move. ESPN, I think, was the one who brought him. Kevin Hart was, as I understand it, just Bryson brought him along. Bryson did a YouTube video with Kevin Hart, and decided to bring him on. So most people bring their family or friends or whatever, but he brought Kevin Hart. So I think that was a Bryson decision. I don't think the Masters should really be intervening and saying, no, you can't bring this person, but maybe they could.
Oh, but
they absolutely
intervene
could.
on everything. I mean,
They absolutely could. They kicked a former major champion off the grounds yesterday for taking his phone out on the grounds.
Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart give Bryson his sand shot.
Ooh, did he hit a bad one?
Bunker shots, huh?
I heard Kevin Hart has the golf bug.
Did he just chunk it twice?
I missed that
in the
one.
bunker.
He let Kevin Hart take one shot yesterday. Chili dipped it right into the water. I mean, he may like to play.
Here he is again. He is on par. He is on his 5th shot on a par 4.
That's the 11.
Now that is he's got about a 15-foot putt for double.
11. See, so many of these. So this is what makes Augusta National.
I think he chunked it twice.
This is what makes Augusta National so special. You've got a back pin today, which is abnormal for number 1 or for the first round at 11. It is playing downwind.
Bogey.
Now we've seen some birdie opportunities on that hole, which you rarely see. 11 is one of the hardest holes on the golf course, if not the hardest over time. And yet it's yielded some birdies, and yet Bryson's about to make a double or possibly worse.
Oh, he's got to hit a hell of a putt for double.
You've got number 9 today playing pretty easy. It's in a bowl, kind of in the middle portion of the green. We've seen a lot of birdie putts there already today. Rory made a birdie just now. But we also saw Fitzpatrick, who missed the green, was heavily penalized with a bad chip shot, makes bogey. So there's just a lot more variance today with the firm conditions. This is why Augusta wants firm and fast. And they finally got it this year. So I think you're going to see some weird moments from great players like Bryson, but we always worry about his short game. He's got longer wedges than everyone else does. He's got 1-length irons, and that puts him in some precarious situations, especially around the greens over the years, because he's so much further away from the ball than most every other player. So he doesn't have quite the creativity that a lot of the other players have around the greens.
So that's why his shot at the U.S. Open was that much more improbable.
To me, it was surprising. I played at Pinehurst number 2, and I thought you needed quite a bit of short game around there. He did enough to get the job done. He had some interesting shots. He had some great sand saves throughout the week, but that was a little bit of a surprise.
90% of the bunker shots with these guys, it's like they are just they're tossing the ball to where they want it. I mean, and he dumped it twice
at Augusta National, and especially out on tour. You will see this. Some players, if they're in the forest, they are aiming for greenside bunkers. They would rather be in the bunker than missing the green elsewhere because they have more spin control. They get more spin. But he is upright. He's got a different sort of approach in the sand, and so he's had some success. But nevertheless, it can be a challenge for him at times, and we see it now with a chance for double.
Look at all the sand next to him as he's got this 15-footer. I mean, for double bogey. I mean, he was just. It looked very amateurish.
He's going to have some Masters volunteers quite busy. That's one of the things they do is take a blow dryer or take one of those blowers.
None of our contributors were really on him. He wasn't really a hot pick.
I was out on Bryson, to be honest. Despite his 2 wins on the Live, he's just been inconsistent. He's dealing with something off the course. I can't really tell. He was in tears after his win at Live South Africa. So he said it's been a hard, trying few weeks for him. So I'm not really sure what's going on with him. But didn't stop
the public from backing him.
Well, yeah, but I just
not that it matters, but
No. I mean, he's a popular golfer. He's popular. He's got a big following on YouTube, and so it makes sense that he was bet. But I just don't think there was a lot of sharp action. I don't think there were a lot of big bets on Bryson because despite, if you just look at Liv, if you didn't watch him on Liv, if you just looked at his Liv results and you say, oh, look, he's won the last 2, he must be playing great. But Rahm's been the better golfer on Liv as of late. He's been much more consistent. Jimmy, you talked about it. He's been top 5 in all 5 Liv events this year. He did bogey, it looks like, the first hole of the day. But, hey, when he put on a green jacket a few years ago, he doubled the very first hole of the tournament.
Bryson missed his double attempt, and he's got a little work to do for triple bogey.
Tommy Fleetwood bogeyed number 12 as well, so he's down to 5th at 2 under par. And Shane Lowry just holes out for eagle on the par 5 13th. So he is now 3 under in a share of third place, right behind Patrick Reed and Sam Burns.
And what's happened with Cameron Young? Because Cam Young was a popular pick. Won the Players, kind of a breakthrough win for him. 4 bogeys on the front 9 and no birdies. So he's 4 over going to the backside.
Doesn't have his game. Is a little curious to see what he decided to do after the Players. He did not play another event. He said he felt like his game was sharp enough. He didn't need to play in any more events to prep for the Masters, and so we haven't seen him in a month. Maybe the lack of competition has him a little rusty in this first round, but he's got mixed results at the Masters. In 4 events, he's missed 2 cuts, but he's also finished top 10 the other 2 times. So looks like he might be closer to missing the cut than top 10, but he's got some work to do to make the weekend.
37 of the last 40 winners in the Masters have played an event a week or 2 before, so it was an odd path after he won the Players. Fitzpatrick's having a rough start. He's 2 over, but again, we're still waiting on Bryson's 4 or 5 footer for triple on the par, so he is putting 7. Aubert just missed a birdie on 1, so he's teeing off on hole number 2. You come over here to Iverstein Butcher and look, you order the burgers or the sandwiches, and our award-winning sandwiches are, again, our master special, the Golden Bell, a.k.a. the Dream Killer over here. You can go down the line and get, a meat and 2 sides. We got the beef ribs today, hamburger steak with the button mushrooms, mac and cheese, baked beans, fresh mashed potatoes, grilled broccoli. We got the boudin. We've got sriracha wings, broccoli and rice casserole. A little bit of the cucumber salad and the chimney slaw. So you can kind of mix and match your plate lunch over here that we do every day, Monday through Friday at Iverstein's Butcher on Perkins Road, just off of Essen.
Max, who was the former champion that got major champion that got thrown out? I meant to ask you.
It wasn't a Masters champion.
It was a major champion. Pulled out his phone and they threw him out?
Yes, they are very strict on that. They've had media members thrown out. You go outside to take a phone call. They've also really clamped down on reselling tickets. I know it's been hard for some people who even haven't resold their tickets, but Mark Calcavecchia was removed from the grounds on Tuesday for using his phone. So he did not win a Masters, but he did win a major. He was on the grounds as an invitee, but hey, rules are rules.
I remember him. He was a fairly prominent 80s golfer, 80s and 90s golfer. Yeah, I remember him. They told Greg Norman basically don't come back, right? Greg Norman. I know he didn't win that, but he won.
He was when he was with Liv and making some comments. He was asked not to come back.
They didn't invite him.
Calcavecchia's best finish, 1988. He finished runner-up to Sandy Lyle at the Masters.
Live at Iverstein, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
All right, live over here at Iverstein Butcher again, all the grilling stuff, man. Grilling season is on, man. Beautiful weather over here right now. Watch the Masters outside, your outdoor kitchen. You get a lot of stuff, man. All kinds of different steaks, flat iron steaks. You got the steak burgers already pre-made for you. Just put some seasoning on them and throw them on the grill this weekend. Iverstein Farms Butcher on Perkins, just off of Essen. Out to Las Vegas, Matt Humans from VEASAN joins us each and every week at this time. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm okay, but any day that starts with Fat Pat Reed 5 under on the front nine at Augusta is not a great day.
You refused to bet him, and it was one of Max's picks and also Wes Reynolds' picks. So both of them had him, and he's at 4 under now, huh, Max? Right
He's
now,
falling off, yeah.
Gave one stroke back after his Eagles. So, yeah. I know you've got a full betting board, though. Tell us what you're sweating for the Masters. What's your betting card look like?
I did bet Pat Reed plus 275 top 10. I did give in a little bit because I thought he was going to play well. So I had, it's business. It's not personal. It is personal sometimes. But, it's just kind of like rooting for Iran. It's tough to bet on a guy like, I guess Max could do that. Wes Reynolds could do that. It's tough to bet on a player like that. Sergio Garcia is in the same category. I've actually got 30, I think I counted last night, 36 bets, 36 or 5 or 36 on this. I played a bunch of top 10, top 20, top 30 too, a bunch of bets like that, and a couple of matchups against Colin Morikawa, who has obviously got a back injury, and got to question whether he's going to quit at some point before the weekend. He's got a bad back. It's a tough course to walk. I've got Scotty Scheffler plus 585. I've been 5-1 plus 585. Also top 10 minus 160. Rombo, DeChambeau right around 12-1. Justin Rose at 60-1. I've got Rose and Ludwig Oberg as first-round leaders. Obviously, got a long way to go to catch up to the pace these guys are setting. Chris Gotterup at around 65-1. Bobby Mack, Akshay Bhatia. Let's see, Jason Day, Harris English, Gary Woodland, and a bunch of other stuff. Actually, it's hard to keep track of everything. I got a list here. But this is what I call the Super Bowl of golf betting. And if you're going to go crazy on one event, this is not a bad time to do it, because I think this is one of the most predictable, if not the most predictable major, one of the most predictable golf tournaments, because you have so much data on all these players at this course, and I think that's what makes it more predictable and better to bet.
What Oberg was, he is kind of, and I had him again last weekend, and man, it was disappointing. Even after he holed in that eagle from way out, okay, well, I'll snap him out of it, and he went right back into his funk. I can play him to be first round leader. I can play him to be 54-hole leader. I can't play him to win. I'm sorry, until he shows me otherwise.
Well, I did not bet him to win. I bet him first round leader, and that's it. That's
right.
The only bet I've got on him, because, like you said, he shrinks. Or I was going to say something else to start with an S, but what he does to his pants on Sunday. I don't get it with a guy like Ludwig Oberg, who is so talented. The guy is so talented. How he can be such a mental midget on Sundays, because he should have won a couple of these tournaments, and the guy completely collapses. And like you said, I cannot bet a guy to win. He's got a lot to prove before I can bet a player like that to win. Now, bet him first round at about 25-1. Go for it, because he can come out of the gates on fire today, but then you can't count on him to do that through the weekend.
Fitzpatrick finishes his birdie, so he gets one back. He's now 1 over through 12. So beautiful shot on the par 3. Put it about 4 feet from the hole. So did you catch Bryson's triple just a couple of holes ago when he was going? It took him like three shots to get out the sand.
No, thanks for the good news. No, I did not see that one. But while I'm watching on Masters.com, and obviously you don't get comprehensive coverage on this, but the last I saw, DeChambeau was even, so now he's 3 over. If that's true, he's probably done for the tournament.
Yeah, he was it looked very amateur-esque in the very common in the sand there. All right, we put we're done with the college basketball season. Man, I'll tell you what, Michigan, the defense they played, my goodness. After the first 2 rounds, they just suffocated everybody. And it started in that Friday night in the second half against Alabama when they trailed at halftime. I mean, they just really so tough. They're bigs. And, one of the reasons they can extend and really defend on the perimeter is because they got that eraser down low in Mara. And, my goodness, who thought he was going to have this type of impact on the season, watching him start one game last year for UCLA and average about 14 minutes.
Well, that's an indictment of Mick Cronin. I watched the day there last year at UCLA, and I thought the guy had a ton of potential. I like his skills. Obviously, love his size, and I could not understand why Mick Cronin was not playing him more. And then this season, when he's playing so well for Michigan, I heard a lot of people say, how did Mick Cronin not keep him? How did he let him go? I said, he did not want to play for Cronin anymore because Cronin did not know how to utilize him. So Dusty May obviously saw the same things and said, hey, we can turn this guy into a monster. And then Dave Mara transfers to Michigan, and that's the best move of his life. I think that's a criticism of Mick Cronin that's very valid. He's too stubborn, set in his ways. A lot of coaches don't know how to use big men. And obviously Cronin did not know how to use him. I bet Michigan last May, after Mara transferred, after Axel Lindenborg transferred, I thought, man, look at that front line that Michigan's putting together. And obviously, that was the best team the entire season was Michigan. And not always does the best team win the NCAA tournament, but that was the best team. And I don't even feel guilty cashing with the UConn +7 at the championship game because I don't know how you guys looked at it, but we were on air that night. We're doing the broadcast of the live betting broadcast, and I watched the replay twice that night at home, and I thought the Wolverines got a better whistle in the championship game, but I watched the replay twice. I could not believe how bad the officiating was, anti-UConn. There were some ridiculous calls, and definitely more calls that went Michigan's way in that game, so anybody who says it was a really lucky cover for UConn, I'm going to dismiss that because I thought the officiating was crap. And when you're Danny Hurley, sometimes the officials don't want to do you any favors. And I think maybe some of that stuff's catching up to him. But Michigan was a better team in that game, and I'm not saying that's why the Wolverines won. But when people say it was a lucky cover, I think you got to reconsider that statement and really go back and watch that game closely. Michigan's defense was great. Otherwise, Michigan was not that great offensively. They made the same number of field goals. Michigan shot 2 for 15 from 3 and just made an absolute killing at the free throw line, shooting 25 for 28.
Well, I think that Michigan was the better team, but Axel, man, when you ever see a guy coming out of halftime and give that interview, they're so useless 90% of the time. Right. He said, man, I feel terrible. I can't do anything. I mean, so they had very little. I mean, and I kind of factored that in. I think the better team won. I do think that UConn got a short end of the whistle, but I'm not sure if it decided the game. I think it may have. I mean, they hit 20 in a row from the line before they missed a 2. UConn banks a 3, and then you got Caravan, who's got a deep 3. Wasn't that much different from the 3 he hit to cut it to 1 with less than a minute to go against Duke. So, but just the defense, man, was so tough. I mean, Reed was not going to be able to kind of body up the big like Mara like he did the bigs in Illinois and kind of have his way against him. And that's something I wanted to see early. And it was just going to be Mara. That's where the box score doesn't give you an indication of just how much he's affecting. And I think it was just old school basketball, man. Attacking the rim and defending the rim. It started from there as opposed to just everything's so perimeter heavy in this era of basketball.
Well, I mean, you're right about that. I said that before the Arizona-Michigan game. I felt like Michigan is better at scoring at the rim and better at defending the rim than Arizona. And that's why I like the Wolverines in that matchup. I think a lot of people kind of ignored that, but that turned into an absolute embarrassment for Arizona. I don't know what you guys were thinking at the time, but even though I liked Michigan and I thought it was going to be a tight game, Michigan was up 30 in the second half with Jackson Lindeborg doing basically nothing. I mean, how stunning was that Arizona got humiliated like that?
That was, yes, it was, first time to coach. And Charlie asked me this, what do you do? And, Lloyd's going to rethink and maybe what he did, kind of, pregame. I mean, they were just off and a little wide-eyed in that. How many of those guys have been? But Michigan's players hadn't been in a Final Four. May has, the coach has, with Florida Atlantic. But
I asked you the same thing about Underwood. What else could he have done differently? And I don't know the answer to that.
Sometimes you just have one of those days. But yeah, I was for them to play so many games and play a damn good schedule and play tougher places besides neutral courts. They just didn't get blown out ever. If they got beat, man, it was tough. Yeah. So it's it was like that. I mean, how many Super Bowls were supposed to be really close games, and next thing you know, they're 30-point games. So I don't know. I don't know what to chalk it up to, but Michigan I think it was, they could beat you so many different ways, and that was the thing. And because what they did with Arizona is Arizona just didn't face a defense like that, not much. So even Houston, which was built on defense, with a little tick off of their defense. At the end, Matt, and we could get really bummed out with the news part of if you follow college athletics and college basketball and all the things going around, and we know the model is not sustainable, even with a place like LSU. But, man, I think the level of play is really strong. And I think that in football, and I think that in college basketball as well.
Well, it's strong, and I agree with you. It's strong because players are making pro-type of money to stay in school. A lot of these guys would be gone to the pros, and now they can stay in school. I saw, and I think it's ridiculous for some people to project Braylon Mullins, the freshman shooting guard for UConn, as an NBA lottery pick. I don't think he's even close to that. At this point, he might be in a couple of years, but he's not now, just because he hit one big shot against Duke. Mullins is a guy I don't think he can even come close to surviving in the NBA right now. But I've seen a couple people mock him to top 15, top 12 in the NBA draft. There's no way that kid should go to the NBA. He could make really good money. I think Dan Hurley said this on an interview yesterday too. He could make. He didn't put a dollar sign on it, but he'd say dollar figure would be $3 million, $5 million. That kid doesn't need to go to the NBA to chase the money. He can stay in school and get paid and enjoy college life. And obviously that's going to make the quality of play in college football and college basketball, I think, much better. But at the same time, what's a blessing is also a curse because, like you said, this model is not sustainable. I saw something yesterday where portal big men in college basketball now are going to get $4 to $5 million, point guards $3 to $4 million, wings $2 to $3 million. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. There's got to be some sort of structure to this, and I don't know what it's going to take, but hopefully something happens. But I agree with you. I think the quality of play has been great, but it's more like pro sports right now than it is college sports. Sam Burns, how about that? Your guy Sam Burns now has the lead at Augusta.
That's right, and it's not too late for you to put some money where your heart is. Pat Reed is currently plus 1125, so it's that window of opportunity still exists. If you want to, you want to cheer, you want to bet with, you want to cheer for. So I know you got a soft spot in your heart for Pat Reed.
One last thing on that transfer portal thing. Yesterday we went over 50% of the remaining of the returning players in college basketball are in the portal. Overall.
Oh, it's over 50? That's a high point for basketball?
That's what it was yesterday. I don't know where it ends up because we got, a week left.
But that's the first time it went over 50?
Oh, I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay.
But it went over 50%. the portal open Monday, Tuesday, so in 2 days, 50% of them.
There you go. Matt, great stuff as always, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, bud.
Okay, you bet. Thanks.
All right, over here at Iverson Farm. So, Burns, you got the lead now?
Yeah, nice two-putt birdie on the par 5 15th. Meanwhile, Patrick Reed had a 15-footer for par on the par 5 13th. Drains it. So, nice par save for him. He is one back now.
So, Burns at 4 or 5?
5 under through 15. Tough stretch remaining, though.
Come back, wrap things up here at Iverstein on Perkins Road, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
All right, Max, last update before we turn it over to Hunt here.
Well, since we're so impressed by Freddie Couples, he's 2 under through 5 with his yellow ball that he's using. So the very tough fifth hole, he ended up parring. Sam Burns, 5 under through 15. I mentioned a very tough closing stretch, specifically 17 and 18 are going to play very difficult today, considering the wind and the conditions. It is warming up a little bit, so we could see a round lower this afternoon. The wind is supposed to die down a little bit. The jackets, the quarter vests are coming off. So we'll see that. And Jordan Spieth almost just made eagle from the front of the green on 2. He will tap in for birdie. But Patrick Reed is one back. He has another opportunity with that par 5 15th that Burns just birdied. He's got that still left to go. So we could see Burns Reed in the mix for the first round leader today. But just going to be following to see who does fall off the pace. Who are the great players that aren't quite there. We look at Fitzpatrick right now. It's kind of battled back a little bit, but Cameron Young.
Birdies.
Cameron Young is on the tough end of things right now, and Bryson DeChambeau. We'll see if he can get back in the mix.
Tough par putt here, after his triple. So I mean, he's sailing greens left and right. He's having a rough go.
Jimmy, you know what else I got here besides all the stuff to grill?
What's that?
Red velvet cookies.
Oh,
that's your favorite.
Okay.
you love the red velvet.
Yes.
But if you're grilling this weekend while you're watching the Masters, come over here to Iverstein.
Yeah, man, come on up by, man. You got everything for your grill, man. I mean, the steak burgers is what I love over here. But you've got the flat iron steak, the chuck breast brisket, ribeye steaks, New York strips, prime boneless ribeye, choice fillets, tri-tips, choice beef rib chops, tenderloins, grass-fed ground beef, a little bit of everything over here for your grilling. Man, it's grilling season over here from Iverstein Butcher.
And thanks to them for being our host today. Tomorrow we are at Ruffino's. Hopefully you can make it in your plans to stop by. For Jordan back in the studio and all of us here at Iverstein, have a great weekend, everybody, and stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.